Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina with another Sunday night live stream show. That's right, it's Sunday night, y'all, and it's time for that live stream show. Got a little different look tonight, courtesy of our media guru Josh. Changed up the frame for us a little bit, so you guys might notice that a little different. But hopefully, y'all are ready for another great show. Same great show, little refreshed look. And tonight we have a special guest. We've got Will McClure, our first mate extraordinaire from the 39-hour and 44-hour trips, on the show with us tonight. How you doing, Will?
Really good. How about yourself, D?
Doing well, man. Doing really good. Doing well. You're right.
Yeah.
It's the kickoff of. You're starting early, Will. Corrected me already.
I think I started that.
It is the start of the birthday month live show series. It is January, and January 24th is my birthday, so we are gonna start celebrating early to start tonight. You ready, Will?
Oh, yeah.
We've got some special stuff gifted to us for the show that I'm very excited to unbox. We have not even cracked our first drink yet. We are saving ourselves for this special gift that we're about to unwrap. A couple special gifts, actually, that we're about to unwrap for you guys live on the show. So excited about that for sure. And hopefully you guys are ready for a great show. Will, being our kind of deep water guru here at Hubbard's Marina, we're going to be talking a little bit more about that deep water stuff, and talking a little bit about Nearshore, of course, too. We've been catching a lot of great fish Nearshore, so we're going to be talking about that too. But I want to make sure everybody knows that we have the deep water specialist in studio tonight. So if you have any 39 or 44-hour questions, tonight is a great night to ask them. Remember to comment where you're watching from, and make sure you like the video for us. Share it with your favorite fishing club or in your favorite fishing group. Help us spread the word. And remember, if you have a question, you have to text us that question to that phone number, 727-393-1947. It's right there, bottom right corner right now is the phone number. Thank you, Estelle Wolfman, for sending us 200 stars, getting us started off strong. Bill Corley from Sharpsburg, GA, thanks for sending 100 stars. Kyle Hopwood, appreciate you, man. Barry Long with 200 stars. How you doing, Barry? Randy Kessel, thanks, brother. Appreciate you guys. Tim Harris from Madeira Beach with 200 stars. Appreciate you, Tim. Thanks for watching. Tim is one of your 39-hour guests.
Yeah, he is.
Tim Harris. Dan Netto, a Hogfish Slayer with 100 stars. Appreciate you, Dan. Thank you, Vicky. Vicky with 50 stars twice. John Boyer, appreciate you. Elizabeth Holland, thank you for the stars. Vicky Poole and Amanda Alsbury and Chrissy Payne, appreciate you guys. Chrissy with 200 stars. You are awesome. Thanks, guys. Hopefully you like the new look of the show. Seeing some questions coming through on the comments. Remember, the comments, we can only see about 20 of them, and then they disappear. So if you have a question for the show, make sure that you text us. You got to text us at that phone number in the upper right-hand corner to get your question answered live during the show. And with that, you ready, Will?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, let's do this. Look at that. New transitions and everything.
Nice.
I love it.
I mean,
All right, so let's get this thing started off. I can't wait any longer, Will.
I've been wanting it.
Look at this. This is the first birthday present from our buddy Nick Nieves in the Skyway Fishing Club. The Skyway Fishing Club is a group on Facebook, and they are a bunch of Skyway anglers who braved the cold and went out on the Friendly Fisherman today for a 10-hour private charter with Captain Frank, and they did really well catching some nice hogfish. We're going to show some of those photos tonight during the show, but Nick was nice enough to drop off an 18-year-old Jameson that we're going to unbox now.
Man.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. We're going to unbox it and try it and hopefully not drop this. Look at that thing. It's so pretty. It's even got a little keychain. I'm going to add it to my keys.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Look at that. Prettiest bottle just feel it. It just feels nice.
Heavy. Oh yeah, look at that ball. It's got an inch of glass on the bottom of it.
Oh yeah, it's serious, dude. That's like a weapon. That's crazy. All right, so we are gonna crack this sucker and try it live on the show. So I'm super pumped for this, for sure. And hopefully you guys are ready for a great show. Sherry Griffiths, appreciate the 200 stars, and everybody else who sent them there while I was unboxing. Muhammad Torres, Richard Blazsack, Brad Wooten. What in the world? Oh, it's even got a fancy seal on it. It's making me work for it.
This unboxing may take a while.
Yeah, this is why we do things live, right? All right. We got ways to make this thing talk. And once we finally figure out how to open this bottle, we are going to show you some photos of what we've been catching. Oh, I'm so excited. Listen to the pop.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds good. Robert Donley, appreciate the stars.
Oh, it's
We've got our Jameson glasses. And here she goes. Oh, so nice. We're just drinking it neat. Trying a little sniff, and everybody watch. I am sharing with Will. Not a lot, but I'm saving some for Captain Frank too. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, he's freaking out right now.
Oh yeah, he's at home so pissed right now. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Ooh, it smells good.
Sweet.
So smooth.
Oh yeah, that is.
Oh my gosh, it's like
incredible.
drinking water. Oh, this is the best whiskey. This is gonna cost me a lot of money. Oh man.
Yeah. Definitely. That's the best whiskey I've ever had. I've had plenty of scotches, but
Yeah, that is incredible. Thank you so much, Nick. Cheers to you, buddy, in the
sir.
Skyway Fishing Club. Matt Jachna and Christine Schrock, appreciate you guys for sending stars. Oh man, Nick, that is incredible. And it has a nice
it
like
lingers.
after,
Yeah, good linger.
yeah, it's not a harsh one. Man, that is good whiskey. All right, with that, let's get into what we've been catching and show you guys what's going on inshore first, and then we're gonna work our way near shore and offshore. And then get into the rest of this show. Let's see, we've got new buttons here, so bear with me if I mess up. There we go, we figured it out. So we've been seeing some of these mackerel. The mackerel are still around, surprisingly. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that water's cold out there.
Water's cold. It's a weird time of year to still have mackerel around, for sure. But hey, we'll take it. The mackerel are here for sure. And I think a lot of the captains were talking that has to do with that red tide that's down south off of Fort Myers. It's a big bloom of red tide, and they're saying that that might have turned those mackerel around. They were heading south, but then they stopped and came back. So
Yeah, they can live in cold water, but they'd rather not.
yeah, so pretty interesting that we still have mackerel around. The redfish are definitely thick right now. We're seeing a lot of these redfish still. Mostly up in the bay is where we're seeing a lot of these redfish around those mangrove shorelines. You can see behind this gentleman, you've got a mangrove shoreline and an oyster bar, and those redfish have been hanging out in the shallows in that area. This was a wade fisherman from Salt Strong fishing a grass flat, catching this redfish. And we've seen some redfish caught off the dock this week. Some of the young anglers fishing off the dock have been catching a few nice redfish. Didn't get any good photos of them submitted, unfortunately. But
I've been seeing those too. They're catching redfish at the dock right now.
yeah, for sure. And here is Luke Simons from Salt Strong, the co-founder of Salt Strong, working one of those Alabama leprechaun, I think they're super flukes for those redfish. Soft plastics moving slow are definitely the hot bite right now. Happy young angler showing off his sheep's head with mom. I've been getting a lot of photos of this young guy every week, and we got some more for next week too. So pretty cool He's loving fishing for sure. Another nice sheep's head from the Skyway. A lot of sheep's head been coming around lately. Been seeing a lot of those sheep's head. It's the time of year for sheep's head. I'm surprised I haven't seen you sheep's head fishing yet, Wilbo.
No, it's a little more work than I like to do now, you know.
Like taking her easy?
This is the time, though, now until March.
Yeah, it's the hot time for sure. And they only get more and more thick. We're still seeing those snook. The snook have pretty much moved out of the pass. There's some guys that will fish for snook all year round in the pass and catch some nice ones in the passes, even through the winter time. But for the most part, they're pretty much gone from the passes and have mostly moved up into the bay. But behind Luke here, you can see one of my favorite areas to target snook this time of year are those residential canals and dock lines. A lot of those residential canals and dock lines will hold those snook. You got that dark bay mud that radiates heat, and during the second half of the day, those snook are up underneath those docks, soaking up that heat from the mud. Definitely a good time to target those residential canals, especially towards the tips, points of the canals. If they're adjacent to grass flats, especially seeing a lot of those snook. What about you, Wilbo? What do you think about wintertime snook fishing?
Wintertime snook fishing can be tricky. I've done it in the bay, like you said, and even in deep water. They even go into some deeper water where it's warm. But I have had good snook fishing. I asked about them the other day. Same thing. They weren't at the dock, so I looked around, didn't see them, and I asked Bobby about them, and he said no, they haven't been around lately.
Yeah, it's been a lot of those redfish lately around the docks. Redfish, sheep's head, and a few nice flounder have been caught too.
Yep.
The trout bite is always good during the winter time. This is a great time to target those trout. We see some bigger trout caught for sure around those sandy potholes on the grass flats, those little edges, gullies, all great areas to target those trout during this time of year. They get big this time of year, huh?
Yeah, they do. The wintertime gator trout.
Gators.
Can we keep them yet?
Nope. Trout, redfish, and snook are all still catch and release only.
It's getting better, though.
Yeah, it's getting better. We got that pocket of red tide to our south, and hopefully it stays down south where it's at. I don't wish red tide on anybody. Don't get me wrong, but they have it down there, and hopefully it stays down there.
That's crazy for this time of year, too.
But that's how it happened in the really bad red tide that happened just recently.
Oh, it started early.
It started early around 2017. They blamed Irma, the remnants of Irma, and all that rainwater runoff kind of hung around and actually kind of kicked up in October, November, and then hung through that winter time. And then come spring, when we get a lot of south wind, it kind of spread it up the coast, and it just exploded with warmer weather. So we're really hoping, crossing our fingers, that it starts dying off, and some of these fronts can break it up and kill it off before it hangs out through winter and makes it to that warmer months. But for now, it's well to the south of us. Nothing to even worry about for our area, but it is on the radar for sure, and something we're watching closely. And, man, I cannot get enough of that whiskey.
Yeah, that's great. I'm taking my time with it.
Oh, man, it is good. I'm trying to take my time. And, before we get to the next set of photos, because we got more photos for you, we also want to thank Tim Corwin from New York. Where'd the other one go? Oh, here it is. Tim Corwin from New York. He hooked us up good as well. We're not going to open these bottles tonight, Tim, but we're going to hang around. They're going to sit on my shelf, and I'm going to admire them for a little while because we have three great whiskeys tonight, and I don't want to open them all at once.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you try one, and then we're going to switch to the Black Barrel for the second half of the show. But here's number one. Look at that. That is a Blanton's bottle. Very difficult to find. I have been looking for this for over a year. I haven't been able to get my hands on a bottle, and look who dropped one off. Tim Corwin from New York. Huge shout out to you, man. And then he also brought a little buddy for that bottle of Blanton's, a bottle of Eagle Rare, and also one of those very extremely hard bottles to find. I've been looking for this one for a long time too. Haven't ever tried either one of them, so very excited to try them soon. But I don't want to waste them, and gonna crack them and try them individually on future episodes. So time coming soon, I should say. Put those down in a safe spot before we crack them open later. I'm gonna knock that one over so it doesn't hit perfect.
Yeah, I've only had that blanket one time, and I think it was $20 for a pour.
Really? Holy moly. Yeah, it's not super expensive. I believe it's like 50-60 bucks. It's a high-end top shelf liquor, but because it's so hard to get is why it gets so expensive at shops and stuff. It's crazy. Very difficult to get your hands on. So with that, let's move our way near shore and offshore and show you guys what we've been catching near shore and offshore. So first things first, our friends the Jimmies from Tampa went fishing with Captain Garrett and sea bass on the Flying Hub 2, and they got some incredibly nice red grouper. Catherine Naranjo, thanks for the stars. Appreciate you, Catherine. So here's a few of those nice red grouper with Chris Jimmy on the right and Captain Garrett in the blue. And baby Chris showing off his monster red grouper. That's a fatty, dude.
Yes, sir. That's a great picture, too.
Yeah, that's an awesome red grouper. Fox 13 is going to like that one.
That's just a great picture, yeah.
Yeah. And here's Michael Jimmy with her nice red grouper. That's another fatty. Sea bass. Clean shaven sea bass looks funny.
Hey, who's that kid on the boat?
Yeah, right? He's got the baby face under there. And here's Dan Netto, the Hogfish Slayer. This was from
sir.
Yeah, right, man. This was from a recent 10-hour all-day. I can't see the fourth one on here, but he had 4 keeper hogfish on that trip. Maybe his fourth one wasn't on the stringer, but he had 4 keeper hogfish, 1 away from a personal limit of keeper hogfish. So pretty impressive, Dan Netto for sure. And here's some more of those photos from the Jimmy's charter. Some blackfin tuna coming. It's that time of year, huh, Wilbo?
Oh, yeah, the tunas should be thick right now.
Oh, yeah. Are you excited?
Especially at night. We do well on them at night on the 39s.
Right before sunrise seems to kind of be the peak. Like 3 to 4 hours prior to sunrise, the flat lines, the knocker rigs, the vertical jigs. What's your favorite way to target them?
I'm usually knocker rig, live bait, but the majority of the ones we catch, at least right now, people aren't even fishing for them, you know?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm ignoring you. Yeah, that's the biggest thing is this time of year. I feel like, in my opinion, for us, around the new and full moon in January and February seems to kind of be the peak blackfin tuna time. Would you agree?
I would agree on that. Yeah, we got a couple good blackfin tuna trips coming up in the next month or so.
Ooh.
And just fishing in general is good right now. As long as you can get around the weather,
Yeah.
fishing's good.
If you can get that weather window, and that's super important. I think you just hit on probably the biggest topic of the night, making sure you pick that right weather window. Because I was talking to a guy today. He comes down every year. He's been 10 years in a row. He's come down every year in January. And he was asking why sometimes he comes down and he has incredible fishing, and sometimes he comes down and the fishing's tough. And I asked him, I was like, well, when the fishing's tough, how's the weather? And he was like, oh, I think you have a point there. And that's the biggest thing this time of year, starting around October, November, all the way through even into March. It all depends on those cold fronts, and you got to time your trip around those cold fronts. The best fishing is always right before the front, as that front's approaching into the Gulf of Mexico, gets those fish excited, and those fish know it's coming.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like they can sense it. And they get real excited. They bite really well ahead of those fronts, and then once that front comes through, the weather gets bad, the barometer drops, the water gets murky, and then it takes a day, 2 days, 3 days for that water to calm down, clear up, that barometer to stabilize, and then those fish come back. And the backside of a front's tricky. I mean, how do you time that? Because you don't know when that barometer is going to stabilize, that water's going to clear up and calm down. So it's a lot easier to forecast fishing ahead of the front, right?
You're absolutely right about that. After the front, the water can be muddy for a week if it's a bad one, you know?
Yeah. It really depends on how strong the front is, and you really don't know. So it's a tricky thing behind the front. But when those fish turn on behind the front, they haven't fed for a while, and they tend to be very excited.
Yeah, they're hungry too.
So the fishing's good behind the front. It's just harder to tell when that will be. And then ahead of the front, you know the fishing's good. So easy to time your trips around the weather. And we'll talk a little bit more about what's happening this week and when you should fish this week. Terry Feather, Ariel Collado, Stacy Ammerman, appreciate you guys. Jackie Wolfel, all sending stars. Thank you very much, guys. Terry Feather, don't forget you as well. Hubbard's Marina supporter and sending stars tonight. Thank you, Terry. Let's go back to the photos and finish up what we've been catching and seeing, because we got a lot of hogfish photos to show you. Here's some more red groupers from the Jimmy's charter, and this was today on the hub, catching a keeper scamp and some hogfish. Jerry Olm Customs in Tampa. They do custom truck fabrication. Might have to give those guys a shout. I have a truck that I want to customize, and they like fishing, so that might be a good partnership. Here's a nice hogfish from today's Skyway Fishing Club private charter on the Friendly. They caught a couple nice hogfish today on the Friendly with Captain Frank. Captain Frank wanted to be here tonight, but maybe next week to talk a little bit more about this trip. But they definitely are catching a lot of these hogfish. The 5-hour half days catching them, 10-hour all days catching a bunch. It is a great time to get out there for those hogfish for sure.
They haven't been like that in a while.
No, it's definitely been an incredible hogfish bite as of late, and we only expect it to get better. I mean, hogfish really kind of go all the way through until March, April, even early May. We catch them through the summertime, but we just don't get the big numbers of hogfish like we do this time of year. Cooler weather is definitely the best time to target those hogfish. And the hogfish didn't care that it was a cold front. It was a tough bite on the gray snapper or white grunts. The porgies, all those small, really aggressive fish didn't really want to cooperate too well. The half day kind of struggled a little bit, but they did well on the hogfish. And the 10-hour did a lot better on the gray snapper, porgies. They got out a little deeper, found that cleaner water, and that worked well. And I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. When these fronts come through and that water gets muddy, it doesn't affect the offshore fishing as much.
No, it does not.
Because the deeper you go, it seems like the lesser the fish are affected.
Yeah, we didn't mention that, but that is absolutely true.
Yeah, so it seems like once you're beyond 100, 120 foot of water, it definitely seems to be less affected by that bad weather. And here's the man himself, Nick Nieves, who sent us this beautiful bottle of Jameson 18. So again, shout out to Nick and his gift. Appreciate you, Nick. And I saw your comment. Oops, I gotta be careful with that. I saw your comment about wanting all these photos for your fishing club. I'll be more than happy to drop them in there for you after the show. Another nice hogfish from today's 10-hour trip. Another one.
Lots of them.
Yeah, this nice lady was very excited to catch a hogfish, fishing off the Skyway all the time. Has caught a bunch of different fish, but never got that hog. And today she caught her hogfish.
Nice.
Yeah, Captain Frank making dreams come true. This is our buddy Gabe Brown from Jacksonville area. Gabe and his father Jordan signed up for the Regulars Club this year, and Gabe came out on a 10-hour trip with his dad and caught a nice hogfish with Captain Frank. And here's Estelle, the hogfish slayer as well. Estelle does a lot of 39 hours with you, right? Yeah. She's a great fisherwoman.
She is great. I have a great time fishing with Estelle.
She's really funny.
And it's great when you catch a grouper right next to her.
I feel like there's a story behind that.
There's a couple, but yeah.
Oh, let's hear them.
Well, at least one where I said, Estelle, I'm going to catch a grouper.
And you called it?
Yeah. And I call on immediately. She's like, I've been here all day, Will, and haven't caught a grouper, and you walked up here one time.
What's your secret, Will?
Sometimes it's the bait. Sometimes it's throwing your bait where you think the fish are.
Yeah, like casting out?
Yes, casting out is a big part of my game on the 39-hour.
Yeah, getting outside of that ring of fire seems to be like kind of the secret weapon.
Mm-hmm. And people don't understand that, and they just don't do it, but it does help.
Can you explain that a little bit more?
So, on any of the trips, really, but on the half-day trip, 10-hour trip, there's not too many people casting their lines out, but and not as necessary there. But the 39-hour, we're sitting on a spot, we can be sitting there for a while, and there's lines all around the boat, and there's 20 to 40 lines straight down, and you got one bait away from the rest of them. A lot of times that fish is going to go to your bait because it's sitting over there by itself. Yep. And two, if you're throwing down current even, and those fish are getting chummed up the current, you'll be the first bait that he gets to.
Yep. showing your bait to that fish first and getting outside of that ring of fire is something I talk about at a lot of different fishing seminars. And we spent a lot of time talking about it at that fishing seminar for those of you who attended it that we had back in around Black Friday at the Marina. It's a huge deal to be able to get outside of that ring, especially on a party boat when you got a bunch of lines going down with heavy weights. The fish see that, and if you can get outside of that ring of fire, it gives you a chance to show your bait to those quality fish who are hanging back and being a little leader shy, especially those big gags. I'll never forget one of the biggest things that kind of changed my life fishing wise was going diving. We went diving down on a pretty big ledge in like 50, 60 foot of water, and there was a bunch of fish around, and my dad brought down a huge chum block, and we went negative buoyancy and just laid on the bottom and put that chum block down by the ledge. And the very first thing comes out is some pinfish, some sand perch, some little vermilions, and they're attacking the chum block almost within a minute.
Really?
And then all of a sudden you saw that little scamp, that little red grouper, that juvenile red grouper come out, start chomping at it a little bit. And then in the shadow, you could see that gag 20, 30 yards away. And he just circled, and he would get closer every time he circled. And it took him probably 10 minutes to come closer and closer and closer, and then finally he came up close enough to where he could see it and smell it, and then all of a sudden there was a little break where all the other fish kind of moved out of the way. It was like they could almost sense it, and he came in and just smashed it and almost ate the whole thing in one bite. It was incredible, and that I feel like that's how it works offshore too.
Oh, yeah.
Is those big gags, they just they wait for an opportune moment to attack, and they don't bite right away. So you got to keep that bait still. You got to have it hooked naturally. You got to get it out away from that ring of fire. That's why I like fishing up towards the front and up the sides of the boat, trying to get out away from that crowd of people in the back of the boat, you know?
Yeah. That's where Estelle fishes.
Where's your favorite spot to fish?
I like the front of the boat as well.
So the people who do this for a living like the front, huh?
There are some perch to the stern, current being one of them. It's some trips, but generally the side of the boat is less tangly.
Yeah. Less tangly, more room.
Less baits.
Tracy O'Brien with 500 stars. Thank you very much, Tracy. Samantha DeSantis with 250 stars. Stacy Ammerman has been sending us stars quite a bit. And shout out also to Chris Collins, who is the bottle sponsor tonight. We are going to hammer some of this Jameson Black Barrel. The 18-year was very good, but you don't pour that over ice and drink a lot of it. It got us started tonight. It primed the pumps, but this Black Barrel is going to finish the job. Let's see here. Yeah, see, someone was saying easy pouring that 18. Yeah, I didn't pour the 18 like that. Let's see here. Michelle Lorenzo, appreciate the stars as well. But back to what we were talking about. What's your approach as far as presenting that bait to that gag grouper? What's your favorite way to hook your live bait?
Sometimes you can hook them in the tail, and I do like to hook them in the tail, but that's just sometimes. You can't always do that because of current or depth or what many factors into that. The easiest way to hook them, and you will get bites, like this is how John Martin fishes. He doesn't hook them in the tail. He hooks them right in the lip every time.
Yeah,
and
up underneath the chin and out the top.
But I have gone next to him and hooked one in the tail and gotten a bite where he couldn't get a bite, and then it will vice versa too.
Yeah, I feel like I like using the under the chin and out the top when I know the bite is good and the bite's on, because that under the chin and out the top gets that bait down quickly.
You're on the bottom.
Yeah, and he's not helicoptering on the way down. I can fire it down quick. It works well. Or when we're drift fishing or the current's strong, I hook it up underneath the chin and out the top because I want that bait to be presented naturally.
Yeah.
Because when the current's strong, that bait's getting dragged by the current. You want his face into the current, so you hook him in the face. So that's kind of my approach. But when the bite's slow, definitely lighter tackle, hooking that bait in the tail seems to really get those fish excited, because I feel like the tail, when, let's say this finger's the fish, if you hook him in the tail, the weight of the hook kind of weights that fish down, and he tends to try to swim away from the lead, and him fluttering like that on the bottom, trying to struggle against the weight,
We'll trigger that bite.
Yeah, rings the dinner bell.
With the head hook, they will bite the head hook, but he's not kicking around as much down there.
Yeah.
He's hooked in the head.
Chilling.
He's laying on the bottom. Yeah.
He tends to chill. What's your preferred bait for grouper fishing?
I do like big pinfish, but if you come on the 39s, you'll see me fishing with a variety of different baits too. A lot of times, if you don't have a big pinfish, I like to fish with a big piece of dead bait.
Yeah.
A variety of dead baits too.
Yeah, the big chunks of bonita, mullet, mackerel.
Mackerel's one of the best.
Mackerel. Mackerel you catch trolling on the way out.
Yeah, yes, mackerel on the way out. And bonita.
Some fresh mackerel.
Especially at night, I've noticed. Grouper bite at night. If you're a dead bait.
Dead baiting at night. Okay. Gina Ammerman with 500 stars. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Jim Evans, Robert Blanchard. All right, let's finish up these photos. We still got some more photos to show you guys. So we got Estelle's hogfish. Was this the last one? Did I hit that perfectly? This can't be the last one now. Oh, there's more hogfish. Another nice hogfish for sure. Been catching a bunch of these guys, man. Hogfish bites on. And we're going to talk about the weather next because there's a great day to target those hogfish this week for sure. Another nice one here from the 10-hour all day.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, beautiful hog. Another hogfish is one of Dan Neto's many hogs that he's caught the last couple weeks. Our buddy Brian Eakins, Dan Neto and Brian, both Hubbard's Marina supporters. Appreciate you guys. Here's a happy couple showing off their double header hogfish.
Nice.
Awesome. Captain Frank with a beautiful hogfish. This is a great photo.
That is a good photo.
He's got the finger to spread out the fins and everything. Photo expert.
He's getting there.
He'll get to your level one day.
Yeah, one.
All right. So with that, I think it is time to talk a little bit about this weather, show you guys what's coming up this week weather-wise. But before we get into the weather, it is almost, or it is 9 o'clock. So before we get into the weather, we are going to pick a lucky winner for our first free trip giveaway. Our first free trip giveaway of the night is going to be a 5-hour half day for 2 guests. Remember, if you're picked as that lucky winner, you have to text us at that phone number right below Will. That's 727-393-1947. Yes, text us at that phone number your home address to claim that free trip if you are picked as the lucky winner. So let's see who, and you have to do it within 5 minutes to prove you are watching live. So let's see who the lucky winner is. Oh, Stacy Ammerman with 500 stars. Appreciate you, Stacy. With that, let's see who the lucky winner is. The lucky winner tonight is Pete. I can never pronounce your name, Pete. You know that. You and Christine know that. Pete and Christine are actual Hubbard's Marina supporters as well. They've been fishing with us for a long time. They were in our regulars club, so awesome to see some locals who fish with us a lot win that 5-hour half day for 2 people.
Nice.
And Pete, he does, Pete and Christine, they do the 39-hour with you quite a bit too, Wilbo.
Yep.
There's some good fishermen as well. Make sure I write that down before I forget. That was 903. Pics. All right. So now we got to get into the weather. So to look at the weather, the best way to do that is to go onto our website, hubbardsmarina.com. And once you're on our website, you can click fishing trips and scroll down to the weather links page. On the weather links page is going to give you all the different weather forecasts that we like using. I enjoy to look at that wind finder forecast first. Kind of gives you a graphical display. We're going to look at the Nearshore Egmont Key buoy first. And you can see here, let's zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it a little better. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. App level. So Sunday, this is today, little bumpy today. This is Monday. Monday looks super nice after sunrise, less than 2 foot, very calm winds. And then we get into Tuesday. Tuesday is beautiful, little south wind ahead of the front. The wind starts clocking around there. Let's see, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
That makes for a good 10-hour too that day.
Exactly.
But
exactly my point. Will beat me to it. Tuesday, I think, is going to be your best bet for that fishing opportunity this week with that beautiful weather right ahead of the front. Look at that, 1 foot with 5 seconds.
And that front's approaching right now.
Mm-hmm. So this Monday is going to be gorgeous for a half-day trip. Tuesday is going to be the 10-hour half-day great day. Wednesday is still not bad. It's kind of a really weak front. We don't really cool down that much. It only gets maybe 5 to 6 degrees cooler, so that's a very weak front. So even Wednesday, you could still fish, but the fishing might be a little slow. Thursday, weather doesn't look terrible, but fishing might be a little rough right behind that front. Time will tell on that one. Friday doesn't look bad in the morning. Saturday, it picks up a little bit. Looks like we get another little weak front there Saturday. Hopefully that won't affect our... we don't have a 39-hour this coming weekend. It's because it's my birthday bash, man.
Yes, sir. That's perfect weather for 57, camping.
Oh, we're going to be camping in the 50s. It's going to be great. It's going to be good flamethrower weather.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my friend's bringing his flamethrower, too. So we're going to have 2 flamethrowers. It's going to be awesome. Super pumped about that for sure. But, so, long story short, the weather this week, you want to focus on going Monday, Tuesday. If you're available, Monday, Tuesday is a great day. If I was you, I'd call into work sick Tuesday and go out fishing, take your kids out of school, and come join us for a half-day trip or 10-hour trip. We got tons of room on the half-day. 10 hours, only about 50% full right now, so great opportunities this week on that 5-hour half-day Monday, Tuesday, or the 10-hour on Tuesday. And that is about it weather-wise. We've gone over what we've been catching. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything, Will. We've gone over what we've been catching. Oh, YouTube. A lot of you guys like watching the show on YouTube. We're going to be back on YouTube, hopefully live after January the 19th. So next weekend's live show will probably still be Facebook only, but January 24th, my birthday, we should be back live on YouTube. And what a birthday present that is. So that'll be nice, hopefully. And then hopefully... all I want for I talked to the Marina managers about this. All I want for my birthday is to lock down that studio. Hopefully, early February, we'll be moving this live show into that studio setting.
That would be nice.
It would be sick. 4 or 5 of us in a room with a bottle on the table. I mean, look at all these bottles we have to drink.
Oh, yeah, they're due.
Me and one guy can't do this alone.
No.
We have been very blessed with a lot of you guys generously supporting the show, so we're going to expand the show. And thank you to the Hubbard's Marina supporters group who made this possible, and all you guys and gals that have been sending stars through the show. We are expanding and getting our own studio. I'm super excited. Richard Blazak, thanks for sending stars. Appreciate you, man. So we talked about YouTube. Oh, phone recordings. So I don't know. I feel like no one listens to phone recordings.
No, not at all.
Yeah, when you call a company and a recording starts, what do? Dial 0.
Yeah.
I immediately dial 0, trying to get through the phone recording. Don't want to listen to any phone recording. But today I was redoing the phone recording system at the Marina, which I believe was about a year and a half out of date.
Oh, yeah.
Embarrassingly enough, we have a little bit of a dated phone system, and I had to get a Windows XP computer pre-2006, and the phone guy had to come in and strip it down and install Java 6. So I think we're on like Java 18 now, and so it was just an extremely prehistoric computer I had to secure to be able to log into this phone system and update the recordings. And don't worry, we're probably moving to cloud phone systems soon, but we have voice over IP through a phone server at this time, and that was the holdup. So finally got a computer, finally updated the phone recordings, so check them out, listen to them. You can call that main number underneath will, and listen to those phone recordings and go through the menus. Let me know how I did. They're very verbose and give a lot of good information, and they basically tell you what you need to know essentially, and then tell you to check the website for more information. So I don't know, I think I did a good job, but check it out. Let me know if you found any mistakes, because I know you guys are good at catching me and I appreciate it. The supporters group, or subscribers group, supporters group, wanted to make sure we remind y'all, if you are a supporter, don't forget the special after show after the live show ends. About 5 minutes or so, that live show for the supporters group will start right on the homepage of the supporters group. So if you are a supporter, make sure you join us after the show for the special after show. If you're not a supporter, you can become a supporter by clicking that button at the top of the Hubbard's Marina timeline or Facebook page to become a supporter today, and you get access to that private group and that after show and a lot of other behind the scenes info. Norris Hall with 1,000 stars.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Norris.
Norris from all the way from Birmingham, Alabama. Him and his brother, and it's Gene, and then his the other gentleman,
Gene and Ron.
Ron, that's not his.
We call
they're
him
not
Uncle
related.
Ron. We call him
Uncle
Ron, but
Okay.
he's not the uncle.
Yeah, they're not related. Yeah,
No relation.
yeah. But Gene and Norris are brothers. I know that for a fact.
And they are pulling for Bama.
Oh yeah, roll Tide. Yeah, the college national championship's coming up, huh?
Yes, sir. Is it Monday? Yeah, tomorrow.
I don't know. All I know is the Bucks won. That was a great
That was
game.
great.
Came down to the last minute. The Bucks love making it a nail biter.
Oh
right?
yeah, you knew. Even though Washington's no good, you knew it was going to be a nail biter.
Well, the Saints won tonight, so hopefully the Saints game isn't a nail biter.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they run
Oh
away with it.
man,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Gonna be a showdown for sure. We've lost to the Saints twice now. Now we got to beat them,
It's hard to lose. It's hard to get beat 3 times by the same team in a year, though.
especially with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So Tim Corwin with 500 stars. Tim's the gentleman who supplied us with that Eagle Rare and the Blantons, and then sent 500 stars too. You're the man. Appreciate you, Tim. Stacy Ammerman with more. Appreciate you as well, Stacy. So we talked about the subscribers group. I think we're done with announcements. It is time to get into some of these questions. Let's see how many questions we can get through before we get wrapped up. And if we don't get to your question, don't forget that after the show, I try to go back through and answer a lot of them. Lately, I've been kind of falling asleep a little early after the show and getting to those questions the next morning. So don't worry. If I don't answer your question tonight, I'll make sure to get to them either after the show or tomorrow morning early. Jeremy Duckett just said it's great watching the Steelers choke right now. Holy moly, if the Steelers lose, that would be crazy.
We are due for a big upset.
Yeah, the Steelers, I mean, they've... who's playing them? The Packers?
The Bears. No, the Browns.
If the Cleveland Browns beat the Steelers, that would be a crazy upset.
With no head coach.
Wow, that would be insane. The Browns need it, though. They haven't made it
they
far in a
want
long
it way
time.
more than the Steelers do.
Yeah. Someone said, John Allen said, drinking heavily, looking forward to the show. I like your style, John. I didn't drink at all before the show. I was saving myself for that Jameson. Caught a hogfish today. Captain Frank took my picture, and I was told I could find it here. Don't see it, but was thinking it might be soon. Yes, so our if you go fishing with us on a 10-hour trip, we don't allow smartphones on the boat, but we will send you your photos. You can get with those crew members who took your photos on the way in, and they'll text you your photo. If you forget to get with them, you can always text us, and we'll be happy to send you the photos. So after the show ends, I'll be happy to supply you with those photos. And a lot of you are from the Skyway Fishing Club group, so I'll post them in the Skyway Fishing Club group after the show as well. I feel like this person is not talking to me.
No, he's not talking to you.
He's texting about plans to fish the Skyway. What's the best time of year to go on the 39-hour trip? What's your answer to that one, Wilbo?
There are good and bad times, and all times of year can be good on the 39, but we just came out at one of the best times. This December was great.
Incredible.
And I imagine it's still great fishing out there right now. We just can't keep the gags. But the other fish are on fire right now. All of the fish are chewing. But yeah, that weather is a big factor.
Mm-hmm.
But red snapper season's in the summer, we try to mix it up and have decent fishing throughout the whole year. But this last month, December, January, February, and maybe even into March, the fish are just chewing out there right now.
Yeah, it's definitely been an incredible last couple trips for sure. And it was weird. We kind of had a couple slow trips, and then we had that total
Then
just banner trip there. The last one of 2020.
I mean, banner trip.
Yeah, and it's ironic because the 12 months before, December 29th is my father, Cat Mark's birthday, and December 29th, 2019, my dad and I went on that 39-hour, remember?
And we died.
It was like the slowest trip of the year, and my dad and I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was good. It's always a
I got
good time.
drunk.
Yeah.
It was fun. I caught a buzz, and I caught some nice mangrove snapper. I had a great time on the water. Getting out of cell range is always fun, but it was a tough trip. And then a year later, 2020, my father's birthday rolled around, and he was a little busy. I was a little busy. We didn't really get together and plan it well, and the trip came and went, and we didn't go. And of course, it was probably the best trip of the year.
Yeah, it was one of the best. It was the best bite of the year all the way around. Just every time you drop down.
All right, don't rub it in anymore. Yeah, so that was a pretty funny one. But my answer to that question, what's the best time of year to go on the 39-hour? My answer to that question is really anytime. Anytime that you're available and you're able to go fishing. It really comes down to the weather. And if you have good weather, it's a great time to go fishing. And all year round, there's always something to catch. Red snapper season in the summertime, people wait all year to go fishing in the summer, and I just don't get it. It's hot outside. Yeah, red snapper are open, but there's tons of other fish through the year to catch that are open, and the trips are a lot lighter. It's not so crazy with the number of people on board. So for me, I would avoid those red snapper. Yeah. Yeah. Donovan White commenting 10,000 stars is pretty funny. Classic Donovan. But yeah, I mean, to me, those transitional months, the fall, the spring, great times to go. This time of year is an awesome time to go in between those fronts. Those fish just chew like crazy. November, December, the gag bites nuts. This time of year, January, we go deeper and fish for those big red grouper and scamp.
Yeah, the deep water fishing, this is the time of year to do it.
Yeah, and we have the blackfin tuna bite this time of year. Big mangroves. We see those yellowtail. We've been catching a lot of big yellowtail.
Lots of yellowtails, big vermilions, big mangroves. Yeah, that last trip we just had everything.
Plus, in January, we're carrying. The last trip had 24 people on it, 23 people on it. Unfortunately, we had to cancel it due to weather. But that's the numbers we carry this time of year. Whereas in June and July, they're sold out. We're turning people away, and it's steaming hot. So. It depends on your taste and what you want to catch, but for me, the best time of year is anytime you're available.
That's it.
Looking at a 39-hour trip the first week of February, does anyone target hogfish out there? I'll let you take that one, Wilbo.
Not really, but we did catch a few recently, and they're generally middle ground size hogfish. They're not small. They're over 5 pounds, all of them. But no, people generally don't target them. And if I was going to, I would shrimp, obviously, or maybe even a small crab if you had small crabs, but generally in the daytime when the bite's slow.
Yeah, when the bite slows down, that's when you can drop a shrimp to them.
Yeah.
Because it seems like when the bite's good or there's any other fish biting, they just crush it.
Porgies, vermilions. If there's porgies and vermilions down there, you will not get to a hogfish.
Ever. You're not going to get a shrimp to the bottom. It's going to get eaten before it gets to the bottom. Everybody, I would say, probably 10 times at least every trip, someone asks, what do you need shrimp for at the live bait counter when I'm doling out the live bait? And my answer is always, you don't need shrimp out there. It's rare that you use shrimp out there. And hopefully you never do ever use shrimp out there. But during the day when the bite's slow and all the other fish kind of die off, dropping down to lighter tackle, smaller, maybe 4/0 hook, and one of those live shrimp with light lead, you never know. You could crush a big mangrove, big
Yellowtail.
porgy, yeah, yellowtail, hogfish. Even sometimes one of those grouper will grab it. You never know.
Oh yeah, we catch big groupers, but now a lot of times you don't catch the big grouper that bites your shrimp because you're not fishing for a grouper at that time.
Yeah, and you catch it on lighter tackle. I think that happened today on the 10-hour trip. Harry Smith, who's done a few of our 39-hour trips, I saw a huge photo of a gag grouper he caught on the 10-hour trip today on a small shrimp targeting hogfish. So he was able to pull it up, which is cool. So you never know. Next question, any concerns over the red tide south moving north to your area? We kind of talked about that a little bit in the beginning of the show. Right now, it is way, way, way south of us, and at this point, it's not an issue for us. But it is on our radar. It is something we're watching, and it could bloom and kind of move north. It could, but most of the time, hopefully it'll stay kind of localized, at least the real bad section of it. Now, there's years like 2017 and 18 where it blooms like crazy and goes all the way up the coast. But even, I would say, even at the worst red tide we've ever had, in your opinion, does it affect 39-hour fishing?
The only way it would affect it is it's hard to get live bait.
Yeah.
The only way.
So the only way that it would affect our offshore long-range trips is you can't bring live bait out there because whatever live bait you put in the well will die on the way offshore because of the red tide. So that's the only effect that we see on offshore fishing. Nearshore fishing, like the half day and 10-hour, we have to fish a little deeper, but we still have great fishing. Sometimes even better fishing when the red tide's around because it kind of condenses those fish.
Pushes them away from certain areas.
Yeah, especially when that red tide creeps slowly from the south and moves north. Some of the best fishing is right ahead of that red tide because those smart fish are moving out of the way of it. And I think we had some of the best trips I remember as that red tide moved north in 2018 and late 2017.
Yeah.
Are knocker rigs good for the 39-hour American red snapper trip? Take that one, Wilbo.
If you're fishing on the stern in one of the corners,
it depends.
and the current's going the right way, yes, very depending on many factors. And there's a couple different kinds of knocker rigs as far as I'm concerned. Some people like to fish the lightweight knocker rig that slowly sinks to the bottom, and other people like to fish a 6-ounce weight right on the hook that I really don't consider a knocker rig, but I guess it is.
No, to me, a knocker rig is a lightweight because a knocker rig, the idea is that weight moves away from the hook and it makes that bait more slowly descend to bottom. So if you're using a weight over 2 ounces,
You're not knocker rigging.
yeah, even anything over an ounce, you're really not knocker rigging. You're just lazy and didn't put a swivel in a leader. So I mean, to me, it's lighter weight. That's what makes a knocker rig because that bait's more slowly descending to bottom as that weight gets further from that hook, and you're fishing the water column. That's the idea behind that knocker rig.
Yes, you can if the conditions are correct.
But the current has to be going right, and I would say during red snapper season, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Unless it's perfect. Unless
Yeah.
you happen to have a corner and that current's running perfectly where your knocker rig's going straight out away from you, you might be able to get away with it. But if you want a knocker rig on a 39-hour trip, this time of year is the time of year to do it. Mm-hmm. Lighter loads.
And the fish do bite it, but it will get you tangled up.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you're not using it in the proper area. So before you do something like flat lining or knocker rig fishing, if you're not sure, if you don't do it a lot, talk to this guy because he knows his way around that knocker rig. I've seen Will catch some incredible fish on his knocker rig. Didn't you catch that like 60-pound kingfish that Jason lost on a knocker rig?
That was knocker rig. My big grouper was on a knocker rig.
That 52-pounder?
58, yeah.
Oh, 58-pound grouper. That was on a knocker rig with a small weight?
Yep. A
Really?
1-ounce lead and 135-pound test.
What? With a live bait, one of those big live baits?
Big live bait, fishing for jacks.
A 1-ounce lead and a huge live bait, a 58-pound grouper.
Yeah.
He came up off the bottom and ate it, right?
Mm-hmm. And we had some kids on the boat, and I let the kids all catch a jack. The jack fishing was good. I let the kids all catch a jack, and then the next one got on there. I had the rod and the pole holder even.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I was like, kids, I'm going to catch this one. Y'all all got one. I'm going to get this one. And it was that big grouper.
Just pure, unadulterated luck or just a ton of skill. Who knows? You guys decide. Tracy O'Brien, thank you for 500 stars. Appreciate you.
Real stars.
Real stars this time, not commented stars. Appreciate you, Tracy. Let's see here. I hope you had a chance to get some of the leftover food from today's 10-hour private charter with the Skyway Fishing Club. They had incredible food. The pasta salad was the shiznit. That's how you know it's good. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately not. Had to get home and upload all these live show changes, which was a little bit of a challenge. But we got it done in time for the show. Barely. Will showed up here about 8:10, 8:15, and I think I finished this at like 7:59. Mm-hmm. So luckily we got it done with a lot of Josh's help. But no, had to leave work a little early today. After I spent like 8 hours re-recording the whole phone system. Jennifer Roberts sent me some photos, but I unfortunately didn't get them before the show, so can't put them in the show. Sorry, Jennifer, but we'll add them next week. What did she say? What did she say?
She's making a reference that I'm an Amish man with a beard.
Oh,
it even says it, yeah.
Will churn the butter one time on the show, please. Churn the butter. Is that your dance move?
Yes, one of them.
Speaking of dance moves, did you know Frank Batchelor, Captain Frank, sings karaoke 2 to 3 times a week?
No, I did not know I knew he sings karaoke from time to time, but I did not know he was a regular.
2 to 3 times a week. We have to find what bar he goes to. Yeah. That would be incredible.
It might be that one.
Yeah, Time Out or something.
Or the one on the beach.
Yeah, we got to find it because that would make an incredible video. We got all
it's
incognito.
It's a super secret video, yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know until the end. And then he'd
send someone in there we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. So we are lost track of time, so it is time. We got to give away another trip, a 10-hour all-day for 2 guests. Let's see who won a 10-hour all-day for 2 guests. Remember, if you're picked as that lucky winner, you got to text us within about 5 minutes to claim that free trip. Wayne Wilhite Jr. Thanks for watching, Wayne Wilhite. You just won a 10-hour all-day for 2 guests.
Yes, sir.
So let's make sure we write that one down as well. Remember, if you're picked as that lucky winner, you got to text us at that phone number right below Will to claim that free trip in about 5 minutes to prove that you were watching live. All right, so try to get through a few more of these questions before we get rolling. What's biting on the 10-hour and 39-hour mid-March? So March is a time of year where we catch a lot of, or I'll let
hogs,
you take
still
the third.
hogs on the 10-hour, yeah.
Yeah, you take it, Wilbo.
Well, 39-hour in March. What happens generally in March is they mess us up. Honestly, they close the deep water to grouper. And the deep water fishing's still good, but we don't want to go out there and catch a big grouper and float him away from the boat and you have to throw him back when you could keep him in shallower water. Mm-hmm. So March is a funny month. We still do, it's great fishing out there, but we have to stay inside of 120.
Yeah, so February and March. So only February and March, 60 days, they do what's called the 20-fathom closure. All shallow water grouper complex is closed. The entire shallow water grouper complex is closed beyond 20 fathoms. 20 fathoms, a fathom is 6 feet, so 20 fathoms is 120 feet. So that is the line. So in March and April, we kind of play the game. At night, we fish beyond 120 feet for the mangrove snapper, yellowtail snapper, porgies, vermilions. And then once daybreak comes, we come inside of that line and try to target those red grouper on those potholes and catch more mangroves, porgies, that kind of stuff, the blackfin tuna inside that line. And then once we have a red grouper on the boat, we cannot go beyond that line any further. And we play the game. We hop back and forth and try to make sure we capitalize on catching some of those red grouper.
And it's a great fishing month, and they really mess us up with that deep water closure, but we still put fish on the boat. We just got to do things a little bit differently.
Yeah, and that's why this time of year, January, the month of January, is so great because the deep water fishing is starting to get really good. Big red grouper, big scamp, big mangroves, big yellowtail, and we get to take advantage of it and have that flexibility this month. And then once February rolls around, it stops. March 1st, though, triggerfish open,
Yeah,
so that's a good one.
Picking at those.
Yeah, and triggerfish bite best deep. So once March ends, we roll into May, or excuse me, April. April, the deep water fishing's still great, and we have those triggerfish open too. Mm-hmm. So good times for sure.
In the triggerfish fishing out there, this is not being said anywhere, but we are catching huge triggerfish out there.
Monsters.
Just
monsters.
Steering wheels.
Dinner plates, bigger than dinner plates.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good Scott Shepler asked, why did you apply for a job at Hubbard's originally?
I
kind of want to know.
My next door neighbor was the captain on the boat on the 39-hour trip.
Captain Matt.
I started coming out there, and I'd be seasick like the rest of you guys. You know? And it wasn't ideal to start with, but I ended up making it great and love it. You know, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
So you originally lived in Brooksville next to Captain Matt.
Yeah, I didn't even live close to here, but he drove an hour and a half to go to work.
Every trip.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Matt, for those of you who don't know, was the 39-hour captain my entire childhood, and all the way until I was probably 15, 16 years old. Captain Matt ran, I think, every trip.
Basically every trip, yeah. Rest in peace, Captain Matt, too.
Yeah, definitely. If we were outside, pour a little out. But, yeah, Captain Matt passed away, I think, about 3 months ago at this point. And definitely sad to see one of the legends in Hubbard's Marina folklore to pass away. I mean, I think I've learned a ton from Captain Matt.
I learned a lot from him.
A lot of tough
Saved
lessons.
My job, a couple times probably.
More than once. A couple tough lessons.
Yeah, he'll teach you a tough lesson now.
Yeah, he'll scream at you. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget that. But that's how you learn.
Yeah.
I never forgot.
Oh, he would yell at you like you were his kid.
Oh, yeah. We were his kids.
Yeah, we were, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you started fishing with him, you were probably, what, 18, 19? Mm-hmm. And when I started fishing with him, I was literally a kid. I think I was maybe 9, 10 years old the first time my dad let me go out there by myself. And between Tammy and Cat and Matt, I had dad and mom on board. Tammy.
Yeah, he would take care. And Tammy, too.
Yeah, Tammy would whip my butt, too. It was crazy. Yeah, it was definitely a different era for sure. And definitely going to miss Cat and Matt. He was a great dude. And his son, Timmy Shimp. Timmy taught me how to underhand cast. My dad tried to teach me multiple times on multiple trips.
Yeah, Timmy was able to get it there?
Yeah, my dad tried to teach me probably 3 times. I went out by myself on an overnighter one time, and Timmy showed me how to do it, and he showed me once, and I caught it.
Yeah. He was a good fisherman, too. He still is a good fisherman.
Timmy is a great fisherman. He still fishes?
No, but, I mean, he's still a fisherman, I guess.
Yeah. He's working for the cable company, right?
I imagine. Somewhere up north, yeah. I've lost touch.
Yeah. Good times. Thanks for bringing that up, Scott. Let's see here. Seeing some big fish at the dock light at night in the canals here in Madeira Beach. What are they? I can see 2 different tails. Most likely this time of year around dock lights would be, if you can see them, would be mullet or triple tail, are often around dock lights around John's Pass.
But they're not that big.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be a rogue snook sliding through, but there's not many snooks this time of year.
Not many snooks in the dock lights this time of year, and if they are in the dock light, they would be on the bottom. You wouldn't be able to see them. The redfish are often in the dock lights in canals this time of year, but again, they're on the bottom. You wouldn't really see them.
I did see mullet thick the other day.
Yeah, mullet and trout is probably what you're seeing, a mix of mullet and trout. And there's probably redfish down there, but they're further down. And triple tail, I think everybody can recognize those. There's occasionally triple tail in those dock lights, especially closer to the mouth of John's Pass in those dock lights. Some of the Bass Pro Shops guys from Tampa shared with me a dock location near John's Pass that holds some incredible triple tail.
Really?
And he fly fishes for them from a seawall and catches triple tail, that would blow your mind.
Man, Smokey
Crazy.
told me he tried to gaff one out of the water in John's Pass one day. Like the boat was backing up, and here came a triple tail.
I wouldn't put it past Smokey. Can't anymore though. They changed the rules on that.
Oh, you can't stick them anymore?
Yeah, the crab trap fishermen, the crabbers.
Oh, they were
doing
sticking them. Yeah,
spear fishing them, all that stuff. You can't spear fish or shoot a triple tail. Yeah, they changed that.
Oh, we've already talked about this on previous shows.
Yeah,
A triple tail
what am I?
is in relation to no other fish.
Yeah, very unique fish. Prehistoric. Do you offer an overnight women's trip? I've gotten that question a couple times, and we have a large contingent of lady anglers. We've got Estelle, Jennifer Roberts, we've got Christine, we've got, can't remember her name right now, but she comes with a large group of lady anglers. Christina Roberts, Bonnie Korniak. We definitely have enough lady anglers to do a ladies only 39-hour trip.
Yeah.
Some hardcore lady anglers that will outfish most men, or I would say almost all men, even me. Some of those ladies are very good fishermen. But to be able to say that we could do a ladies only 39-hour trip and have enough people to go consistently would be tough. Might be able to plan one through the year. I think it's something to think about for next year. But at this point, for this year, no, we don't have one planned. But there's plenty.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, and there's plenty of opportunities to fish 39-hour trips. Estelle comes out by herself a lot on 39-hour trips as a lady angler. Jennifer Roberts comes out with her husband and a group of friends. There's a bunch of ladies. Christina comes out fishing by herself on 39-hour trips. So there are ladies. What's the one woman's name that comes out from Sarasota? I want to remember.
With Tim? No, not
No,
Tim.
Tim's sister comes. I'll remember it after the show. She comes out like once or twice a year, but I'll think about it. To answer your question, though, ladies go fishing on the overnighter, and they come out by themselves. It's a non-issue, and we still need to have the ladies-only live show, which we will have once we get that studio, because in the current setup, obviously, Will and I are kind of cramped right here. But once we have the studio set up, we'll have more room, and one of our first shows is going to be a ladies show where we talk about kind of a ladies experience on a 39-hour trip. And I forget which lady angler that fishes with us a lot had that idea, but we'll definitely be doing that for sure. Michael Jimmy, thanks for sending us 200 stars. Stacy Ammerman continues to hit us with stars. Appreciate
She's
you.
uncontended.
Yeah.
Tonight. Where's Gabe? He's gone.
Yeah. Gabe fell out of the stars game, and Gabe has also been sending me photos of these crazy awesome bottles of booze that he's been finding. And every time I ask him what's his secret, where is he finding them, he will not respond. So Gabe, you've fallen on my bad side. Share your secrets. Nick Nieves, thanks for sending us some stars, and we are way over time. I'm used to Captain Frank. Captain Frank yells at me. He's like, "It's time to give away a show. Show's over."
It's 9:38.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he starts yelling at me. I'm with Will. We're laid back. We're just having a good old time. Time's getting away from us. Robin Swindell, happy early birthday, and thanks for the 100 stars. Adam Franklin, Tim Corwin, appreciate you guys. We are out of time at this point. We have a couple other great questions lined up. I'll make sure to get to those questions, like I said, either after the show tonight or early tomorrow morning. And we are going to give away our last trip of the night now. That last trip is a 39-hour trip. A $399 value for one person, absolutely free. Gonna give it away now. You're gonna get to meet Will and fish with him for 39-hour trips, or 39 hours on this trip. And don't forget to tune in next week. Next week we got another episode of this live stream show. So January 17th, same time, same bad channel, same free stuff. So hopefully we'll see you next week. And don't forget to check in with us Monday, Tuesday. Hopefully you can come out and enjoy that great weather. And if you're a Hubbard's Marina supporter, about 5 minutes after the show ends, that live show after show will start. If you're not a Hubbard's Marina supporter, you can become one tonight after the show at the top of the page. Become a supporter for free access to that private group, the after show, and a lot of other behind the scenes stuff, plus occasionally some deals and some special offers. So make sure you become a supporter if you'd like. And with that, it's time to give away a free 39 hour.
Let's do this.
All right, Wilbo, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's see who's
I'm a little nervous.
A little nervous. Let's see who's going to join you. All right, 39 hour trip for one guest is John Price from Newport Richey. That's 2 Newport Richeys tonight.
Hooked up, brother. Up.
Hook a brother up. Well, you just got hooked up, John Price, with a 39 hour trip for one guest. Congratulations. Thanks for watching, y'all. We'll see you next week for another episode. And hopefully everybody can join us this week for another episode. Denoris Hall with another 1,000 stars to close us out.
She is contending. She is in contention.
Denoris putting Gabe to shame. Appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. And a special shout out to Tim Corwin and Nick Nieves for that special bottles of booze tonight. And Chris Collins for permitting us to drink heavily after we tried the special bottle that Nick provided. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Chris and Nick and Tim, for sponsoring tonight's episode of the live stream show. We'll see you all next week for another episode, and hopefully soon we'll be in the studio with more shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate you guys. Tune into that supporters page. Remember, supporters group live show starts shortly. All right. Oh, we're supposed to have an end screen. We forgot the end screen. All right, whatever. End screen's coming next week. You'll see it next week. See you guys.